Mohammed speaks love clear. Usman vibes strong and near.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zuaida Ahmed Abbas, your co host for today, and we are back on another episode on Student Unionism, Part 2. If you've been with us on our last episode, you know what unionism is all about, and we're here to discuss on power, pain, and perseverance. With me is my co host.
My name is Jamila Yakubu. Welcome to the second episode of Student Unionism. If you were with us last episode, you could remember where we talked about leadership lessons and
Legacy.
yeah. So here today we'll be talking about power, pain, and perseverance. And with us here today is
From my side, the first person by my side, Suleiman Fanti, Student Union Leader and former President, Faculty of Science, ATBU. The second person is Muhammad Kamal Abdullahi, Chairman, Final Year Dinner, 41st Bali Whites, and SUG Stakeholder and former Sales Director, SUG ATBU. Welcome.
okay. Here on my own side, I have Usman Mukhtar Ibrahim, Student Union Leader, President, Nigerian Association of Agricultural Students, NUBAS Judiciary Chairman, ATBU, and ELCOM Chairman, SUG ATBU. I also have Anas Adam Umar, former clerk, deputy speaker, and speaker of the Student Representative Assemblies at ATBU chapter. Welcome to our show today. All right. So before we begin, I would want to explain that we will be talking in sessions, just like our topic implies, power, pain, and perseverance. So we'll be starting with power. And I think my co-host Zubaida would be directing the first question on power.
Okay, so the first question under power goes to the first person by my side, who is Suleiman Fanti. And the question is as follows. In your tenure, there have been rumors that you've used power to your satisfaction. Some people even said you've misused power. What can you say about that precisely?
Well, I think there's always two sides to every story, and when you are in the corridors of power, this is very much expected. I cannot account for what some people have said. I cannot account for other people's perspective. But I think power is like an ability to influence the decisions of other people. And yes, I used power because I was given the responsibility of doing that by the same people I governed over. So I used it, but to my own knowledge, I used it positively. If it's called a misuse of power, it would have to be a bit more specific than this. Maybe in this particular area, what did I do? Did I exceed a particular amount of power that was vested in me? Did I misuse it in any ways? I think there was. It even got to a point like this happened at that time where some people alleged that I misused power. It was taken and it was discarded, meaning necessary investigations have been done, and it wouldn't have been discarded if I actually misused it. So I don't think I misused any power. I just did what was constitutionally required of me.
So thank you. And Hausa suka ce daga bakin mai ita. Yes. So thank you for that answer. And the next question goes to my co-host, Jamila.
All right. This question is for Mr. Anas. What does power mean in the context of student unionism?
Um, Actually, student unionism has its own level of power at least. It means you having what it takes to do what it takes at the right time. Actually, for us that have passed through the corridors of power in the cycle of student unionism, we know that power is a temporary, like something to hold. We hold it right. But you can't run away from the, what do you call it, the obstacles of holding power, of course. To student union leaders, power is a tool. To the, what do you call them, the electorates or the constituents, power is something every leader has to abuse. Like, you just have to do that. So to us, we use that power positively, as I said, but we do use it negatively because we use power to fight grudges. We use power to gain capacity sometimes. We use power to build relationships, and sometimes we use power to develop others. That's student unionism, because you have limited, what do you call it, power to hold over your fellow students, because it is a student cycle. It is not a political cycle. So everything has limit. Before everything, you are a student. So you have to act as a student, show that you are a student, then that power will come out. So it has to be a little token of appreciation to those you worked hard with, and then you use that to do what you think is right. But actually, in student unionism, the four things I said earlier are just the same we do with power. The positivities are just little. So that's how it is with students. That's why you see that there are people that are afraid of seeing former student union leaders going into politics because of the way student union leaders use power. I don't think if you get my point. So it's obviously just a tool we use to get to where we want to be, not the other way around, actually.
Actually, I would love you to have something to say because I have a question for you from what he said. He said power in student unionism is based on four things, basically. I think he said capacity, okay, to influence, to mold. That's okay. That's the good aspect of power in student unionism.
I don't think in student unionism it has that. You have to be the person. You have to be good. That's just it. But the power in student unionism comes with restrictions. So it is always, if you view it as it comes, it's always a negativity binded with a little positivities. That's if the person is positive. We use power, all of us, I'm not, before we came and after we left, everybody use power basically for four things. You get that capacity, show that you are this person. Anywhere you go, I am this person. Then you build people, you influence decisions, and you fight other people. That's just while following those corridors, there are people that will come with allegations against you. People will come with this positive thing. People will come with this negative thing. The next thing you do is, I have the power to influence decisions of others. Then how can I use that influence I have on others to fight that person, fight this person, fight the other person, fight lecturers, fight deans, fight VCs, fight all of that. That's why you basically can't show anything after the 1 year because you just use it to do.
I think just to chip in a bit on what he said, you know, um, most of you would be looking at it differently now that he has said the negativity outweighs the positivity. But I think you use the power negatively for the ultimate positive reason, right? So in the whole context, I think power you use it positively most of the time, mostly, right?
I serve the students from a legislative side. I think I kind of get into this hustle and tussles with executives. You serve the student from an executive side, you have legislators. So if you can recall, before you went into student unionism, there are things that are your drive. These are my drive. These are what I want to achieve. This is why I joined student unionism. Then if you look back after leaving office, what are those things of? While in office, you basically have no even control of what you have in the office. You understand? So you even are taken off track of what really brought you in. So the ultimate positive goal is you going in for the betterment of the students. But what I want you to understand now is what I stated earlier is how we use power, not what we want to use power for. You basically want to be good, but the environment is not good. So you have to be bad to live in the environment. It's just the survival of the fittest and the elimination of the unfit. So that's how it rules. You either be good as a person and try being good one way or the other, or the system turns you. But 90 out of 100 are always consumed by power. So that's how it is. I was consumed by power. That was the honest truth. You were consumed by power. He was consumed by power. And he was consumed by power. So that's, I'm talking from experience. I'm not saying these are facts. No. I'm talking about me, you, him, the road we took, the path we followed. That's how it is. And that's the question they gave me. They were not talking about facts. They were talking from our experience. So if it is from facts, power is a positive thing. They said power is given to what? A person that is ready to bow down and pick it up. Me and you were ready. We bowed down and picked it up. And it consumed us one way or the other. I fought with people. Yeah.
Because you said we actually, I just want to make the note that he was actually the first person that encouraged me to enter the political space, the unionism space in ATB. Before meeting him, I was just a nerd, actually. Yeah. I was just reading my books, and that was everything. So we were meeting in this restaurant, and he was actually the one that encouraged me. So you were speaking as if I also was.
No,
I
no.
took your advice.
What I was saying
So
is,
I went to.
what I was saying. Just look back, looking back at my time as a speaker,
Yeah.
your time as a president, his time as a search director, his time as a president. He forgot to mention the times he spent as a senator, because that was the times he spent as a politician. Or I can say, yeah, no, he serves as a politician actually, because he's one of those people that play the games well. And you are one of the people that play the games well. He too played the games well. I joked before even starting this session. We are people that have drives. I want to be good. You want to be good. I said it. But does power really let you be good?
No, really.
Yes, that's just it. It's the corridors of power. It shows that it's thin. I saw something earlier. It is a door in I think a temple or so. They want every, what do they call people that works in the temple? Monks. They want every monk to be well fed and not overfeeding. So the door that leads to the dining in that temple is as thin as this, and you have to go horizontally while going in. So if your tummy is big, you cannot access that. So that's the only way to diet. That's the only way to diet. You not going close to the food. You must be ready to reach the food before you eat the food. So that's how the power is in unionism. You must be fit. You must bow down. Get that power. Use it well because you are good. Or the other way around. And it happens. The way it happens actually.
Shed more light on what Malana said. All this lies on the long-term ambition that you define yourself. So it is your right and duty to fight power and to question interrogate authority. Thank you.
My, I think, next and last question on power goes to Mr. Kamal.
Yes.
And your question is, how do students, no, let me use you. Let me not say student leaders because you are on seat. How did you navigate the balance between authority and responsibility? The authority you had over your position and the responsibility you had on your position. And I would specify your position as the chairman, final year dinner committee.
Assalamu alaikum. As you can see, I'm keeping it in a
Are you?
very, what do I say, critical moment of the discussion. I am actually someone that doesn't actually comment that much on power, as I've never been elected into office of the president, as you can see all the
Yes.
guests here. Well, to talk a bit more about power, I can say power is something that corrupts all minds. If you did not use it that well, then you are bound to fail. As you just mentioned, I was once chairman of the, what do you call it, 41st White dinner. Is something that actually that is not that big enough, but Alhamdulillah, with the little experience we had, we were able to navigate a lot of challenges there. And then, as you can all see, we are able to make something out of it. I don't have much to say about power, actually.
Oh, well, I think you've not answered the question yet.
What
And
exactly
I believe
is-
you have full explanation to that question. So I'll rephrase. The question is, during your service as the chairman, final year dinner and award night committee, how did you navigate like the balance between authority and responsibility?
Well, I was a kind of a leader that is quite friendly. Let me say this. At first, when I assumed the office of the chairman, at first, it was very unfortunate. I don't know any face. I don't know anyone from the committee. They set up the committee. I saw it the way it was posted. So the first thing I did was to contact the chairman. I contacted him. I let him know that we need to have a meeting as soon as possible, and we did that. So during the course of the meeting, I informed them of my own plans as the chairman. Thereby, it was a kind of what? How can I even say it? It was a bit a kind of more of an interaction between the chairman and the members of the committee. So we developed the plan together. I did not personally sit aside and make the plans. You understand? So the motive of doing that is for me to have everyone on board, for everyone to contribute. You get it? So I think that was the only way we are able to succeed in our program.
Okay, so if I get you right, getting everybody involved
Yes,
puts
of
in
course.
place a safe space
Yes, of
for you to balance authority and responsibility.
Yeah.
So your authority as the chairman did not in any way interfere with your
I actually
responsibility.
yield my authority as the chairman.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
In the sense that with or without me, the committee will succeed. That was what I did.
Okay, so
Because at some point I was even willing to resign my office as the chairman.
can we know the reason why you were willing to resign your
no,
office?
we cannot get into details here.
All right,
you know?
all right. I respect your
Yes, of
privacy.
course. Yeah.
So thank you for giving me an answer to that question.
The session is getting quite interesting.
Yes, so I think we're done with the session under power, and we'll be going down to pain for time convenience.
Yes, and so the question here is, can you recall a moment when you got very, very frustrated? It was very, very painful, like a particular moment when you were very pained, or you felt like you just have to leave, or something just happened.
Actually, I can't recall any moment like that because as a student union leader, you need to have your people at heart, at mind. So while serving, you need to serve with purpose. You need to serve diligently. You need to like bring about a lot of development and changes to your constituents. So anytime temptation comes to me to give up or to like draw back while achieving that purpose, I usually prioritize that service to humanity over that nonchalant thinking or that castles that usually comes to me. And during the discussion, while I was shedding more light on what Malana said, I said that it is in the course of your long-term ambition that you define yourself. We all serve for a purpose. We come to serve our constituents, and we know that deep in mind that service to humanity is serving God. So it is just a level ground for all of us as we are coming up to prepare us for our future politics. So actually, I've never ever even think of giving up in politics. Not never. Thank you.
Okay, that is quite interesting. But I also want to have another question, and I would like to direct it to Mr. Anas. Yes. From what we've been hearing around school, obviously, it shows that you've been a very fierce person. And you know what fierce means, of course, somebody that has probably anger issues and somebody fiery. So it is more likely for somebody like you to get frustrated or pained due to one or two things, obviously. So the question is kind of directed towards you. What are those pains you faced, and when did you feel like, let me show this person shaggy first? So
Actually, the first question I felt attacked actually from the inception. Like the first question you threw to him, I thought it was mine. Like I feel in me it was mine. So that question here has to apply to either me or him because they say birds of the same feather actually. But I do have not anger issues. Like I say, I wasn't fierce. I was fearless. Yeah, I wasn't fierce actually because my personality is just being me. And in that personality is being fearless, no matter who it is, maybe a lecturer, a student. I don't care because I have a goal before I went to the student unionism because I know the person I am. I said it's either what I came for or my admission. I came for the degree, yes, and then I went into student unionism. What took me into student unionism is just the atmosphere, the cycle, the environment is not favorable for other people to thrive in. So I see that why can't people like me that have nobody just come into this cycle because I have something to offer and still thrive and be successful? Why? You have to get a godfather, you have to get stuff, you have like plenty. I don't know if time will permit, but I started a small cycle a cycle that involves people with little or no ego, anger issues, people that are very friendly, kind, warm, caring, people like Muhammad Nazir Ahmad, my SUG president, popularly known as Sika, people like Muhammad Ridwan. I don't know if some of you knew him. He's from my faculty. I started as Lucas in ATBU, Student Unionism Cycle. I started as Lucas. Many people thought I am a Christian then because I acted as very tough. And they would talk, after hearing them, Lucas, maybe we'll meet him in church on Sunday, but they will not see me in church. And people that saw me in the mosque will be amazed, like, how is this person here? Because I have to sacrifice a lot. That anger issue. There are two instances I can recall that I really got frustrated. I think, broke a whiteboard or something like that. We were having a session, then it was fierce between me and my principal, Alhaji Maazu Sagir. He was the president, SUG president then. I was the speaker. We were having a sitting, and he invited the security, like he notified the security that we are having an illegal sitting. Not even a sitting. Yeah, we are just a bunch of students that just talks. Yeah, he described us as talks. We are just a bunch of talks that are having a meeting that has a negative effect that is going to have, a negative effect on the students.
I'm sure he used Hausa. Can you rephrase it in Hausa?
What he says,
Yes.
I can't recall. It's not that important now. Eh?
Yes.
So that word talks that time came to his one of his, what did I call him? One of his strongest ally, his very closest ally. That was Aminuddin. He called us talks while he was our friend that time.
He was your friend.
Yes, he was my friend actually, because I have different set of cycles as of that time. So that time we are having our last business sitting. I was his chief of staff then, and before that sitting, I think through that week, Anas as the pioneer senate president wrote to the dean that he needs to reshuffle and to use constitution because Alhaji Ma'azu that time used his power, his okay. Thank you.
Don't go there. It's not important.
I
Actually, I want to complete what I was saying because I
Alright.
might be taken off.
Okay.
Because I will have to give respect to him actually. He came into the system, met the system. As tough as it is, he survived the system. Because it's just survival. Me, him, and everybody that was in the system, we just survived the system. And we did the little we can to the system. Talking on that same incident, I think it is Mutua. There is a security that was named Mutua. We worked with him while at the time I started like studying unionism, we worked with him here and there, do these little things for our principals with him as a security. So he came into the hall. They are trying to disrupt the sitting. And now told us they were notified that when he saw me, he now told me they were notified that it's a group of students that have no name, have no association, that are having a meeting. And that meeting is going to cause problem and chaos in the university. So they are here to stop it. And I told him, do I look like a person that will cause chaos to you? Because I was wearing my jumper and cap. Then he was like, no. When he met us, he said, no. Look at the people that are here. There are ladies. There are small boys, I can say then, 200 level, 100 level students. And there are people like us that have missed IT and stuff. Real comrades, I think. There are people like us that have sacrificed a lot. Some have sacrificed less. I said, look at us. This combination, can we cause problem? He was like, yes, you can cause problem. I said, then you want a problem, and you have one. I told him, please try disrupting this sitting. Because I was seated for like 30 minutes, just focusing on the sitting. They're trying to come in. I think Chief Whip was trying to contain them. And I said, nobody should talk to them because they were not talking to us. He, the Chief Whip, should go and entertain them. We should continue with our sitting. We were with this sitting, and they start banging doors and making noise. Then I stood up. I went and met him. Then when I tried punching one of them, I was stopped. Then I come and punched the whiteboard, I think. Then it broke. I think SLT, whiteboard broke. So I think that time, I for once forgot I was a student. That's a regret, actually. You must have one, or two, or three. I have like 5. I I actually regretted that moment. I tried punching a security, of course, and after a while, I went straight to their secretariat. Then Kamal was the sales director. And were you on suspension then? I don't think. Were you on suspension? Now you need to answer that.
Of course, I was not on suspension.
Okay, you were back.
Mhm.
That was the first time. No, the second time. But it was the peak of it, actually. I regretted that the most. Because Alhaji Muaz is not my friend, he was my senior in secondary school. So I respected him a lot. And after the incident, I just went back. I was at Sabon Kauda then. I went back and slept for like 12 or 13 hours. I slept for a long time. After waking up, I then think, what if I met Alhaji Muaz the moment I went to secretariat? What will happen? Will we act as leaders or just talks, as he said? I was like, maybe he's right. Maybe for that moment, we were talks. And that's a regret. I so much regretted that moment because I went back to 7 years and act as Lucas. And then I was Malang Anas, and it was a little bit shady for me. And it was a very regretful moment. The first time was with Kamal. Kamal disrespected 63 members of the parliament, plus the executives. And I felt I was furious. He was like a junior brother to me. There were emotions there. How can you act on a person that is like a junior brother to you in instances like that? But he was new to the system. That was his first.
May I chip in? Because I can see he doesn't want to conclude. For the interest of fairness, for me to clarify a lot of things, a lot have been said. I believe during Muaz's tenure, if I am not, in fact, I am carried along to the extent that every decision that was taken then, I was in it. So, to clarify what the former speaker, whom we call the illegitimate speaker, yes, whom we call the illegitimate speaker. Actually, what happened during your sitting, if I could remember exactly, um, you were suspended as the chairman or the leader of the house then. Because if you visit the constitution, as you said, you are a comrade. You are a comrade.
Was I
we all know
suspended?
you. Yes?
Was I suspended?
Yes, of course. In fact,
Do you have a letter?
I should use the word impeach, not suspend. Because I could
Do you have a
remember.
plan for that?
Yes, I could remember.
Do you have the paper?
Well, you can't expect me to have the paper here because I was not expecting.
Who signed the paper?
Well, I don't want to call names.
No, call names. I will call names.
What I believe.
Who signed the paper?
People
That's
like,
the question.
Senator Aminuddin.
Aminuddin?
People like Senator Hafsa, Senator representing business management.
Can I chip
People
in, Kamal?
like,
Can I chip in, Kamal?
Yes, of course you can chip.
Just give
but
me a
you are
second.
not letting me to clarify.
No, you do a clarification.
Alright.
I just want to clarify something before you go further. I make a mess.
You be good, sir.
You said I was impeached.
Yes, of course.
You said I should visit the constitution.
Yes, you were.
State the constitution.
Well, you can't. I was not a parliamentarian.
Then why do you
What
give?
of?
Why do you give? What do you call it? Why do you give? What do they call it? Why do you refer to the constitution?
Well, the constitution is what's guiding the.
Now, if you went to buy a land,
Mhm.
and the person you are buying the land from, he is selling the land, you are buying it. Is he the only person that will
I believe you are not asking of the.
Is he the only
documentation.
person that will refer to the Land Use Act with both of you?
Yeah, both of you.
Then why can't you refer to the Constitution?
I was not the secretary of the SUG.
Why do you refer
I
to the
was
Constitution?
equally not the clerk of the house. So
You are the
cannot-
sales director.
Yes, I was a sales
What
director.
are your duties as a sales director?
You can't ask me of my duties here. You know.
Where you have to know the
Because
Constitution.
I was the one person.
Is
that
he not
during
supposed
my
to know the
tenure,
Constitution?
You know, I was the one person that during my tenure.
Yeah, you did great.
Yes, you are also
Yeah, you
you're
did
also
great.
agreeing to
Yeah, you did great.
how good I did.
Yeah, you did great.
So thank God, I don't have to say anything.
Yeah, no, you talk about the Constitution. You know, sometimes when we
You
refer
must
to
use
the
the
Constitution.
constitution against me.
Yeah,
Yes, I still have the paper in my phone.
Yeah,
The
you
paper
should.
you used to suspend me during
yeah,
my
you should
tenure.
because it is the right thing
Yes,
to
I
do.
still have the
Yes.
paper.
Yes.
But you know, you were not using. You are using. You just mentioned how good power is or bad. At this junction, you are an agent of disruption of power.
Yeah, I didn't run away from that. At the beginning of the session, when I'm saying it, I said we were consumed by power
Yes.
at a level we fought with. We fought grudges with power. We build people with power. We get capacity or influence with power, and we reach where we want to go with power. And I said, me, you, and everybody sitting here that walks into the corridors of power was consumed by power at one point or the other. I never deny it because I know I use it. You understand? I know I use it, but I use it judiciously. I'm not saying I don't fight my people, people that go against me.
But do you agree fighting
There
dirty?
are times.
Wait. Do you agree fighting dirty?
Yeah, I do.
You see, as a person, as a leader, whom the whole parliament is looking up to, fighting dirty, are you expecting something good to come from it?
Yeah, I don't think no. It's a good it's a healthy conversation actually. It's a healthy conversation. He's getting to know me. I'm getting to know things he couldn't say to my face. You understand? So
I believe I'm still saying it to your face, sir.
yes, yeah, no, but it took long. Thank you very much.
Yes.
No, he has
You
to.
see,
He has to. There are levels to every shit. He has to. You know, Kamal, one thing you don't know is I was a speaker presiding over 63 representatives. That's one. I have one decision to make. Just one decision. That is to pass each and every decision they took. Not my decisions. What happened between me, you, and the parliament is something that happens between me, you, and the parliament. Not you and me.
Yes,
if
of course.
it was up to me, then you are my brother. I wouldn't have acted the way I act. But how can I convince you that moment? Come on, keep quiet. I have never said that to anybody in the parliament. For over 5 years that I've served in the parliament, wallahi, I've never told anyone to keep quiet, calling him by his name. Muhammad Nazir Ahmad was the SUG president. He came for a joint session. He was my closest friend in the university. He made a mess. I didn't talk to him. I was on the floor as a floor member, deputy speaker. I have every right to tell him this and that, but I didn't because wait, I want to learn first. I didn't because it is the house, 63 members, only me and my emotional imbalances or emotional disturbance. I don't know how to put it. I can't overrule their decision, but I looked into your eyes because I have that power that if I talk once or twice in the parliament, it is as good as a law. That's the time I have. I enjoyed that moment. If I talk once in the parliament, it is as good as a law. And I would say it not here, I would say it 1,000 times, I would say it till I die. Because my time as the president or senate president, if I talk once or twice in the parliament, it's as good as a law. It's not because I was fierce or fearless to them. It is because I took their decisions, not my decisions. And if you can recall then, I wasn't the one that passed the final decision on your punishment. Was I?
well, I saw a paper.
Was I?
How can I know? I saw a paper.
Thank you very much. Who signed the paper?
Well, the chief whip.
And who?
Well, I don't know. It's
The chief whip and the clerk, the chief whip and the clerk signed the paper. I am a presiding officer. I didn't sign your paper.
They cannot issue the data without your own.
That's because you were never in the parliament. That's why you see it that way. You and your principal, my principal, Alhaji Maazu, that's why you guys thought I was the one fighting you, but because it is a decision of 63 people. I'm excluding myself. I'm the 64th person seated as the presiding officer. That decision is what I will have to say, yes, this is the decision. I'm just to affirm and shed more light when necessary and where necessary. But when you did something in their presence, how do you expect me to shed more light on something you did in the presence of 63 people and tell them, no, Kamal is right? How?
My illegitimate.
But then, Kamal, I wasn't illegitimate then, was I? Was I illegitimate then?
Well, at the beginning you were not, but
what happens between me, you, and the parliament? Was it at the beginning or at the end?
towards the end.
Towards the end?
Yes.
That's something you forget easily. I don't know why. What do you take these days, these boys? Why do you forget easily? It happens early in your time and my tenure. You have to write how many apologies?
Well, you see, the issue
63
we had,
handwritten apology letter. Am I mistaken?
well, I can't remember the numbers.
64 handwritten apology letters. That's what you have to write. Was I the one that made that
You
decision?
see, I want you to clarify something.
No, I want you to answer me. I wasn't good as a speaker. You understand? I wasn't good as a speaker, but I was very good as a leader.
I think I would like to call it time out.
Hey, that was big.
It's not fair. Right?
Yeah, it's
I'm
not.
able to.
That is the reason why we are here as hosts and moderators.
Just a minute.
One minute each. 1 minute each.
No, he's not saying it. Time it, please. I'm just going to talk on something. The constitution of the parliament of the SUG says that you will be a member of the parliament or the executives as long as you are a student of the university. You understand my point? and you need to have 5 sessions. You understand? 5 sessions. That's 100 level to 500 level. That's the interpretation. Do you understand? I missed IT. I missed IT. When I came to ATB, you lots are in this secondary school. So I tried my best, do my best, get into unionism, change faculty once from I think petroleum engineering. I came down to agricultural economics and extension. And I miss IT because of struggles. Not because I feel, but because I fought a lecturer. That was why I miss IT. I want to go down to the details with you. When you and your, I won't say you, because if I said you, I wasn't fair to you, because you are not part of the picture. Even if you were incognito. But to the people that try to take me out of the speakership or whatever, they came with an allegation that I passed those sessions in the university that I was meant to. And I have less than 2.5 CGPA. Then I was having 3.75 CGPA. I wasn't a dull kid. I was very good. From the way I talked to you, I wasn't a dull person. I was very good in studies and whatever. I have 3.75 CGPA as of my first semester, 500 level. That was before exams. So I came with my results because they require my results. I came with my result. I gave them my result. Came with my change of course paper. I gave them, and I told them they should go back to the Supreme. What's the Supreme? The student book. You have to go on IT before your duration in the university starts. If you have to spend 10 years before going on IT, you are still on your year 4. You understand? That was it, year 4. I missed IT and went on my what? Year 5. How many sessions do you have as a student in ATB? Yes. No, it's 7.5. 7.5 sessions. That's why you didn't do your homework then. That's why you failed woefully when you came with the allegations. You have to go back to, it's not just the constitution.
I believe the judicial.
Not you, sorry, not you. That's why I say you don't have to answer, because it's something you know less or nothing about. You understand? So, yeah, please let me round up.
I don't want to comment on it.
Yeah, you don't have to. You know nothing about it. So the issue is, they came with that because of those reasons they have. But the real reason is this. Like what I said to the judiciary that made me come back is this. But the ultimate goal or the ultimate reason they brought all those up was because you and your type do not want to see me there. Do you understand?
Personally, I have nothing against you.
Nobody will hear you. You don't have a mic. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Anas and Mr. Kamal. I really enjoyed this argumentative session. So,
Enjoyed is an understatement. Well, the second question goes to Sir Suleiman, and the question is as follows. In leadership, whenever power is assigned to you, there's pain, as I said earlier. But apart from pain, there's also failure. What did you feel doing that if you would go back to the seat of maybe whatever you've served as, what have you failed as, and what would you want to do? Like, what would you want to bring back? What would you want to achieve when you go back, if you were opportune to go back on seat?
Thank you. I think that question would have to do with two things generally. The first would be on my individual trait. I would be less of a good person actually if I were to go back to that time, because when I came, I was very pure-hearted. I was very good. I saw everyone as good-natured as I was. So I followed by the rules. I played by the rules, and it wasn't like that. So I would be a bit more vicious, and then a bit more Niccolo Machiavelli with my stuffs. And based on the programs, I think there was a program I had in mind. It was based on digitalizing my faculty at that time. So I still regret it to this day, the fact that I did not do it. I was waiting to do it at the end of my tenure. And when the end of the tenure came, it was very tumultuous and hectic. I couldn't get it done. There were fights, and then I went on to contest for SUG president. So no more time for me. And at the end of the day, the truth is absolute to everyone, right? The parliamentarians thought they were fighting me because of their own truth. I was defending my own truth. And at the end of the day, the people that suffered the most were the students, because the initiative was good. It would have been good. We would have developed an app, for the students, as something to access data and everything, tutorial, all these tutorial stuffs, every single thing, when you make tutorials, you don't have to be making tutorials again. We can just record you just like we're being recorded right now. You can access everything online. You can access your materials online. You can access details and information to your lecturers or whatever you want to get into online. And I think that was the first thing. And I had it since the inception of my time in office. I have it in mind, but I did not execute it because I was saving it for last. So it's the one thing I still regret to this day. I think I failed in that capacity. I failed in also in some policy implementations. I wanted to change some things, change some laws, and at the end of the day I couldn't influence the people that were entitled to doing that to do it. So like I said, I would have been a bit less good. That way I think I would have achieved my goals more efficiently.
So daman to duk wani abin alkhairi sai da wahala a ciki. Sorry, I'm mixing with Hausa. We're Hausa people, of course. So I hope somebody comes to power that would be able to achieve whatever you wanted to achieve. And next question goes.
All right, this next question is for Mr. Kamal. I've been saving this question from our previous session to ask you personally, and thank God you are here, so I will go ahead and ask you. From our previous session, we had the SUG president from your tenure, Alhaji Muazu. I didn't want to mention it, but then. So I asked a question then about controversies or scandals during his tenure. And he made mention of one. I don't know, maybe you watched the session or you heard the answer he gave to the question, but did you?
I didn't,
You didn't.
but you can.
All right. So he said during his tenure, there was a scandal that went on in school claiming he did a lot of atrocities with women in school. He made mention of names. I cannot do that. So I want to personally ask you, you were as good as his chief of staff, staff, right? During his tenure, even though you were his sales director, right? But you were as good as his chief of staff. So I am sure you knew every single thing that happened during that time. Whether or not it was with you, it happened, you heard about it. So I am personally asking you, during that tenure, when that scandal happened, did it in any way affect you? Did it cause you any pain during that time?
You see, the issue is I'm not even aware that any scandal had happened.
Wow.
You see,
Wow.
I was a mere sales director because he doesn't carry me along everywhere. He doesn't do his
I think if students were here would oppose that.
Why would they oppose
They
it?
would oppose that because everybody
I am just a member of
testified.
the student executive council.
A lot of people testified that
Like
you were
every
better
other
than
member.
his chief of staff being.
No,
his
he
chief
has
of
his own chief of staff.
Yes, but you did more of the chief
I
of
believe
staff
my boss
work
here can testify to that.
than he did. Mr. Blade, please, can you testify to that?
Well, I can testify to that. Were you among the delegation that met me at dentist shop?
I know I am not.
Okay. Since
But if you are so sure,
no, he's not. He was not among. But I can recall vividly that then his principal. I don't need to call names actually, but there was scandal. Actually, there was scandal.
then tell us about it. Yes, of course.
Let me make something clear first before you talk.
Please, it wasn't funny. It isn't going to be funny. Him saying he knows nothing about it. It's like you forcing question on him. He says he knows nothing about it. That's too personal. That's just it. Blade, you might know something about it because then you were like an eagle. You might be. You know the issue is.
But you see, it's good to clarify it.
Even me, like I don't know anything about it. Wallahi. I was his most fiercest rival, I think. I know nothing about it. About any scandal. Like to go into details. You know anything that has to be written on social media, you can't lie saying you know nothing about Karyani. You must have saw it somewhere. But you knowing anything about it is valid. It's not a personal life. Yes.
Well, there was scandal. Maybe Kamal wanted to remove himself from that scandal, but there was misappropriation of funds.
No, not that. That he can't like.
That is why I wanted to be clear.
That there has been
Mr. Kamal, can you let me rephrase so that you would understand that you don't need to tell us the details. The question was,
It's actually
let
a
me
personal
let me say,
answer this question.
all right.
Because I am not allowed to answer. If Alhaji Muhammad
Did you-
was here,
did you
and
hear the
said nothing
question?
about it, you can't expect me to talk about
Can
it.
you wait?
Well, you tell me, what did he say?
He-
He said
can you let me talk? Can you let me talk? Can you let me talk?
You can talk.
All right. So the question is not you discussing in details about the scandal that happened. I made mention of him saying the scandal he knew
see,
happened.
being
Let
a
me
president-
talk. Let me talk. The scandal he knew that happened then was people going around and saying he did a lot of atrocities with women.
Really?
So let me finish. Let me finish. So he said it was a scandal, and I am not saying elaborate. I am saying, did you know about that scandal, and
You
did
were
it
asking
affect
me
you?
to testify to it.
No, I asked him to testify if he knew about the scandal. So
Alright.
I am asking you, did it affect you in any way? Did you feel any pain as an executive during that tenure?
Since I
So
am
it's
not-
a yes or no question. You could choose
I'll
to say
answer
yes
it.
or
I'll
no.
answer it.
Exactly.
Since I'm not aware of it, how can I say it affected me?
All right, thank you for your answer. This should have been the answer you gave us, but you gave us a really funny time, this conversation. So thank you very much.
And I have one personal question I've been saving for years, but I'm going to ask Staff Auntie, Sir Suleiman, sorry. Now, the question is, you have contested as the SUG president after serving as the president of the Faculty of Science. So what made you, you didn't get it, you didn't win. So what precisely disqualified you?
From what,
The
actually?
leadership, the seat as the SUG president.
Okay, let me start with, at first, I actually was planning on, after finishing as president of my faculty, I would go back to my old life because I missed it. When I got into that leadership spot, it was very tough for me, and I had to like change through identities, and that didn't sit right with my spirit. So for me, I was just planning on just living the political scene and wherever. Then maybe around the ending of my tenure, it's in the process of doing what you're supposed to that you actually find what you want. And in that process, I just, many people actually, at first, many people started making clarion calls to me because I think none of the positions I ever held in my life, none of them were actually ones that I declared interest on my own. Even when I contested for faculty president, it was a clarion call. So for the SUG too, it was a clarion call. They are on Facebook, some of them. You can find them there.
That
So
shows that you are a good person societally with other people.
yeah, one thing with people is we may sit here right now and you may hear me talk and you would think this person would make a good leader. But that's just your own perspective. Maybe it's when I get there that you will actually judge me.
So you
But
actually understand.
yeah, but I was actually relieved that after serving as the faculty president, some people were calling on me to contest for SUG. It proved to me that I actually, even if I did not do to my expectation, I did well enough. So people started calling on me. I think one funny clarion call I can still remember is someone telling me that he's going to call my dad to tell him that I should contest. Maybe it's the reason I'm not trying to contest. So at the end of the day, I was skeptical actually, and that was why I came out very late. I came out 1 week to election, right? And if you're talking about the rejection, sometimes, most of the times, when you lose, especially like I don't want to get too political, but in politics, unionism, we're practicing unionism, but it's the political, methodology that gets you there. And in politics, most of the times, it's not really the most qualified that gets it, right? It's the one that does his assignment right. I came out very late. When I came out very late, I had a lot of problems. I think I defended more than 11 petitions. There was a day I defended more than 11 petitions in the student affairs. In 1 week, I was fighting people from my own faculty, parliamentarians, allegations against me. I was trying to campaign. I was fighting petitions everywhere. And the only time that I actually got to campaign was just one evening and then one morning in Gubi. And I think that right there is what disqualified me whatsoever.
Definitely
Yeah.
you wouldn't get it in Batana and Rabuba. So
Thank you. I think I've been reminded that we have little time left and we haven't spoke on perseverance. So we'll be going down to perseverance and everybody will get one question each. And please wrap it up. Your answer should be quick and short
and precise.
and
too.
precise. Thank you. Yes, all four of you. So everybody is getting one question each. I think specifically you, your answer should be short, precise, and
Straight
specific.
to the point.
Thank you.
Um This question goes for Sakamal, and the question is as follows: what sacrifices have you made during on your seats? Like, you know, everybody has made sacrifices one way or the other, whether being a leader or not. So my question here is, what sacrifices? If you can list maybe one or two.
Well, as we all know, leadership isn't easy. Even though I am not elected as a president, even for once, but being in the realm of leadership, you see, there a lot of sacrifice must be made. For me personally, I miss classes. You see, in fact, is something that every comrade will testify to that. It's actually one of the key, as you said, I should mention one. So I believe by mentioning this is okay, right?
Yes, it's okay.
It's a great sacrifice indeed. Not really. We wanted to make it as precise as possible. Sorry, as quick as possible. So next
So
question.
should we go like this, or let's
You
one
should-
year,
yes,
one
one
year?
year,
All right,
yeah.
all right. We're back to you again. All right, Mr. Usman, your question on perseverance is: in your toughest moment as a student leader, what was the one thing that kept you going despite intense opposition?
Well, I think what keeps me going, moving, and dwelling well in student unionism is integrity. Because I remember vividly, we have our team, we name it Team Integrity. That time, we don't influence our selfish interests over students' rights and services. Thank you.
And the next question goes to Sir Suleiman. And it's not really a question, it's a request from me personally. And I know other people would appreciate me requesting this from you. Being the person you've been, a person of integrity and good leadership, from what I know, we would like if you give a piece of advice, a quick piece of advice for future leaders, and not just future leaders, everyone else. You don't have to sit, you don't have to have a seat to be a leader. Yes, so there goes the question.
This is actually okay. Let me see if I can chip in.
While I was uh, while I was saying our team, we name it Team Integrity, I saw Fancy smiling. Maybe you have something to say, and I'm ready for it. Thank you.
Like I said, the truth, the absolute truth is multifaceted. Like everyone has his own perception of it. And yes, I believe, I believe my boss here was part of the group, right? If he was not part of the group, he was an ideological figure of the group, right? And he has been a light that I have been following since my day one in unionism, right? I would like to say the integrity group, you have drilled from their integrity, right? Right? You have drilled from the integrity part, and maybe you were doing it in your own way. You thought that was you doing the integrity, but to my own view, and my people and others too, they may not form the larger percentage of what may be deemed as maybe a threshold for being the general outlook. But from the people that were around me, from myself, my own perception, and trust me, I can be very unbiased in decisions, even against myself. I did not think you did your own thing, you were honest to your own part, but to my own threshold, it wasn't to that level. Integrity, no, you were honest, but integrity, no.
Why?
No, it's all right, all right.
Why? Maybe you have some points.
One thing about history, I don't like delving into history because most of the times it's dictated by the victors, right? And so I don't need to get into details. But like I said, I have my reasons. You have your own reasons for
Yes.
portraying the integrity part, right? I also have my reasons. Maybe it may be just you're looking at this bottle this way, right? Maybe what you're seeing on that side is not one thing. We may be looking at one number 6. You may be looking at it as 9, and maybe looking at it as 6. And that doesn't mean that you're wrong, but it also doesn't mean that I'm wrong. What I saw from my own part was short of integrity. What you did on your own part was integrity. And I think we can, still coexist in that space, right?
Well, you are not being specific up to now.
Yeah.
My time does not allow us to be specific. Yes, your advice.
You are not being specific.
Oh, okay. My advice to anyone willing to take on the role of leadership, first of all, is to, actually find and develop a vision. You find yourself first. Actually, sorry, you find yourself first. Know who you are. You find an identity, then you align yourself to it. You find visions. Yeah, you create them from your environment. You look at your environment, the progress it has made, and the problems. It's from the problems that you find your own visions for what you want to create. And once you do that, I think I would just put it poetically. You should just let July be July. You should let August be August, and you should let yourself just be. Even in the uncertainty, like you don't have to solve everything, you don't have to fix everything, and you can still find peace and grow in the world of changing things. So yeah, that's what I would say.
I love the last line, the
Because
poetic
only
line. Yeah,
God
yeah.
is perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
the poetic line.
yeah,
That was nice.
nice.
All right, our last question. Please, let me say once more. Be specific, be short and precise. All right, let me pick it. A very simple question. How do you balance the need for patience and perseverance with the urgency of student demands? I want to say something before I give him this mic. Yes, before I give him this mic. He is one of the first people I met in Gubi during my IJMB time. And I think there was a day I was almost dying in front of Block A. And he helped me. And I did not know it was him until I think months after that I recognized it was him, because the day he came, he wasn't wearing a cap, his hair was all bushy, and he was wearing his glasses. And ever since I've been seeing him, I've not been seeing him with the glasses, and he's always on cap. So I didn't recognize him until later on. And when I recognized he was the nice person that helped me, and people are always, that guy is scary. He's like the boss in the campus. Everybody is so scared of him. And even me too. Yesterday we were having a conversation within the team, and they were like, "You are a nice guy." I said, "No, personally, I wouldn't say you're completely nice, because to some extent, there are things that you do to me that to you, it's you being you, but to me, they are not nice. And it's your personality. And I really appreciate the fact that regardless of who the person is and how you see the person, you always tell the person the truth. So
What's the question?
the question is, how do you balance the need for patience and perseverance with the urgency of student demand?
It should be precise, right? You see, not just leadership, life is an empty vessel or a vacuum. Do whatever it takes to fill it up with positivities and good wishes. For me, I value responsibility more than authority. It comes first. You know, you can get power, but you cannot be authoritative. Power is given, authority is an acknowledgement. You can have power and you cannot tell anybody to do anything. You cannot make anything right. But when you have authority, even without power, you can make things right. So, actually, what so much helped me to balance all those spurs, I think you said patience and perseverance, yeah? It's the authority I have on the little people I have, and I use it well. And to your own part, sorry, of being nice or not being nice, actually, that was my responsibility. I was the highest ranked, I think, SUG official when the females were transferred back to Gobi. So personally, I was asked by the vice chancellor then to act as the president over there. Not just the president, like an ambassador directly from his office. So that was when I go against the Dean Student Affairs. That was when I go against the former vice chancellor, Professor M. A. Ablaziz. Then he was, I think, something related to remedials. That was yes. That was when I go against one Dr. Yusuf of Medical College, because that was when they were brought down to Gubi, because he came with a bunch of students outside waiting to be screened, and he came with his students because they were on break, and he would just walk them up to Mrs. Giwa's office and get them cleared and be given bed sheet and mattresses and stuff. And I said they have to wait. He said they have classes, and I said everybody have classes. And he was like, "Do I know who he is?" I said, "Do you know who I am?" Then say he was from Faculty of Medicine. I said, "I'm from Faculty of Agriculture." So you go back to your faculty, buy mattresses for them. Their bed space will always be available, but the mattresses first come first serve. So because of that, I can screen them, but they will not get mattress. But if they need mattress, you have to buy it for them, or they wait on the queue. So things like that are my responsibility. Actually, and people like Kamal, people like Fanti, people like Blade, people like Shafa, people like Oli, Abdul Salam Oli, people like Kante, people like Zarata, people like Uzo. I know some of you know Uzo. I know. You know Uzefa. People like Uzo are people I look not down to, but up to. I was not as old enough to be their brother, but they gave me that chance of being their brother. They fought for me, and all those things you see, couldn't reach me. I know less of it. All those troubles, actually, I know less of it. But I have good conversations with people like Fanti, people like Kamal. When it was very fierce, I think, we have conversations at home, we have conversations in school. And those conversations make me realize that every set goal has to have a little bit determination, a drop of patience, and that perseverance aspect. For me, I wasn't having it then. But interacting with people that do, I get to learn. I learned a lot from this gentleman here because, can you give me a little time? I don't want to be emotional because I met him as an ad, not him, many other people. There was a time Bleed and colleagues were saying, I have a school of thought. It wasn't a school of thought. And this team integrity was stating, I wasn't the one that promulgated it, but I am by picture part of it. But there are many other people that have integrity, I'm telling you, in the student sphere, in the student unionism sphere, that works the other way around. Not because they are not integral, but because they have to survive. That's the only thing they have to do to survive. Support the system the way it comes, because you can change little or nothing. Then you go your way, leave it. There was a time he said he was about going back to his books because he missed it, but he couldn't, because that was a very hard decision to make, because you're already into it. To go out, it will be very hard. For us that serve in that aspect, these questions sometimes used to bring back memories, regrets. Times you wish you were not even part of the system. Not because of some problems that happens here or there, but because of the relationship that was severed. I had a very good relationship with my principal, but it was severed because of unionism. I cut it completely, I personally. Not because I don't want to relate with him, but because he has a thinking that in his life, not even today, I'm saying it today, till the end of his life, he will never give me a chance to tell him why I did what I did. He has his own reasons that he said, like, these are the reasons that Lucas did this, and they will forever be his reasons, no matter what I say. So there are these kind of people. But I do the things I did, like I did the things I did, not because I hate him, not because I hate anybody, but because I had to do them. So these are decisions. These are the vacuum I met. I met a completely destructured, dysfunctional system. And I am very happy to say it. I make it work. Like, I made it work. I really made it work. Because I believe that was my vacuum. Mine alone. Because when you are having that, you must feel it. That was my sole responsibility. I have to feel that vacuum, and I feel it. And I'm proud today, sitting with you today. What Fonty said, like, he said things relating to me that I feel very honored. Actually, I feel very honored. Blade, sitting here with me, sharing the same show, I feel very honored. Kamal, I feel very honored. Because I started as a different person. But today I am here, sitting with intellectual minds, being one of the intellectual minds that passed through the corridors of power in the school. So it's a proud moment for me. And I thank you for this opportunity. At least I will have a chance to strategically and directly apologize to Kamal for everything I did. Actually, I'm sorry. I apologize. It's not, no, it's not me being biased then. It's me doing my work. I hope you understand. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that was absolutely beautiful and remarkable. And we've successfully come to the end of our show. I and my co-host.
But before we go, I would like to do a little shout out to Nexo Tech Hub for hosting us here today. And I would like to tell everybody about the hub, little about the hub though. They deal with importation of tech gadgets and also supporting small tech innovation. And they also support women in tech. So if you have any interest in tech, you can do well to follow all of their social media platforms. On Instagram, Nixo_limited. On Facebook, just Nixo, spelled Nixo. Then on TikTok, we have Nixo.ltd, Nixo.limited on TikTok. Follow any of their social media platforms and drop them a DM if you are interested in tech. And do well to follow Beyond the Book on all of our social medias platform on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, X, and X. Beyond the Book _BOIACB.
I I hope you've enjoyed our show, and we'll meet you in our next episode.
Do anticipate the next episode, please. I am hoping to have a very interesting argument next time too. See you.
Thank you.
We dance and we, with every breath we take and we, host of hearts in this show, feel the magic start.